ears gonna hear me. Through the spirit we see clearly. They swinging if you get near me. Now your boy blowing the trumpet. I used to pull up and dump it. Toting them guns out in public. Riding on off, that was fun shit. Boy, I don't flex for the IG. Wanna go script a script, nigga, try me. Keep a scallop, but he right beside me. To break the laws of God, I don't like things.
Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High. His name's Yahweh. He's the God of Israel and Israel only. We do that in the name of his Son, the man inwardly called Jesus Christ. Real name Yahweh, who is the King and Savior of Israel and Israel only. We the Hebrew Israelites of the Sakari Sect out here in San Francisco. It's called back the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans back to repentance. Right? What's going on, my brother? So you're pretty much familiar with the information, are you? Okay. So do you already know who that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites? And do you know how we can prove that? Through the Bible, exactly. Let me show you something. Go to Deuteronomy 28. Hold what I have you holding. Because the Christian church will never, ever let you know this, man. It's not in their interest. Because the longer they can have our people asleep, the more. I mean, they work for the devil, man. Right. They're the ones that got licensed and what's called with the 501c3 and all that, right? So if they can keep our people asleep and our people in sin, the devil can have the power over the earth, man. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 1 from the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So basically, after Moses freed the children of Israel in Egypt, right? You know that story, right? Children of Israel were enslaved in Egypt. The Most High sent Moses to pretty much free our people. So after we left Egypt, we went to a mountain called Mount Horeb, which is called Mount Sinai. We went up into the mountain and came back with these laws, right? See, the Most High, he did this to free us from superstitions, religions, and all that, right? But our people still want religion today. They want stuff that will make them feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want true discipline, which is in the Bible. He said, if I give you these laws and you follow these laws, you will be placed on top. Now keep reading.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
All these blessings shall come upon thee, right? So read the blessings.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
He said, blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. But apparently we're not blessed, right? In the city nor in the field. We see the blacks and Hispanics getting killed at a high rate. We see our Native American sisters being stolen, and these white devils don't give a damn about us, man. Right? They have not lifted a finger for any of our Native American sisters being stolen, man. Right? From here all the way to Canada, man. It's happening in Mexico too, right?
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle.
He said, blessed shall be your body. We already know that the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans have a problem with high blood pressure, have a problem with diabetes. Why? Because we keep sinning, man. We want to keep eating these abominable animals that we're not supposed to eat.
That's right.
Right? That's why the Chinese man they can eat anything, man, and not get sick. Right? The Most High made us, he separated us, he made us holy. And he told us what not to eat and what to eat. See, but our blacks and Hispanics want to eat pork. They want to eat all these abominable things that go against each other. That's why our bodies are stricken with sin. Right. 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now he's saying that if you do not keep these laws that I present you, all these curses shall come upon you. See, we gotta understand that from verse 2 to 14 are just blessings, right? That we'll be the head and not the tail and all that. That's only 14 verses. But 15 and down, all the way to 16 are curses. So there's more punishments than blessings, man.
Right.
So he did that as an initiative for us to keep his laws, man. Right? Verse 16.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
He said, cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. That means that no matter where you're going to be at, man, you could be in the inner city, right here on 16th Commission, or in Oakland, or in Richmond, or you could be in a country, man. You'll be still living in the same situation. It also said, cursed shall you be in the field. Our ancestors were cursed in the fields when we were in slavery, man. Right? Verse 28, 29.
Verse 29. Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Look around us, man. Our people are cursed with this blindness, man. Keep reading.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
That's our people down to a T, man. Right? They want to stick all this poison in their bodies, man. Right? And our people pretty much have a higher rate of mental illness, man. Right? That's through oppression, through all that, man. Right?
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
Who's more oppressed and spoiled than the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man? Here in the Americas, and then all the Israelites, man, because we're scattered all four corners of the earth. And verse 16 is saying, cursed in the city and cursed in the field. So it's basically saying the Israelites all over are living the same curses, man, if they're not keeping God's laws, right? Give me verse 31.
Verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face.
That happened to our Native American brothers when the goddamn white man came over here and started killing the buffalo, man, as an act of war, right? Verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
That's happening today, man. That's happening today with CPS, man.
Right.
Blacks and Hispanics, man. And it happened to the Native Americans too, with the boarding schools. And it's still happening to our people at the border today.
And thine eyes shall look and fall with longing for them all the day long.
And we're crying over our children that these goddamn devils take away from us. They give to white families, man.
Right.
Right? And you keep reading?
And there shall be no might in thine
And
hand.
we can't do nothing about it. This is not happening to a so-called Jewish man. It's happening to us, man.
That's right.
Give me verse 41 and 44.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
And that happened during slavery, man. Right? They sold our babies. They sold our babies to separated families, and it's still happening today, man. In the legal court systems.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
These heathens, which is all these other nations, they're above the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, right? And you can have these Africans come to America, and they'll still have a leg up on you, man.
Right.
Right? They can come over here and prosper over us. The Chinese man can come over here and prosper over us. All these other nations that can come to that goddamn nation, they can still have a leg up on the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man.
Right. And thou shalt come down very low.
And that's the opposite of what the Most High promised us. He's saying if we keep God's laws, He will make us a head, not a tail. But since we're sinning, since we want to be in these Christian churches, since our people want to sell drugs to each other and poison our brothers and sisters, and want to pimp out our sisters, this is the situation that we find ourselves in.
That's right. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
This cuts the so-called Jewish man. The Jewish man owns pretty much all banking systems all over the world, man.
That's right.
Right? They say that they're in exile until the Messiah comes. Right? They're not keeping the God's laws, but they are lending to people. So that proves that they're not the real people of God, man.
That's right.
Give me 45 to 47.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, so thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
See, we gotta understand that these laws are a mercy to us, man. Because at the time that it was presented to us, we were leaving Egypt from under slavery, forced to abide under all their laws, right? He gave us this as a freedom, man, right? But we don't have to believe in superstitious religion, right? But our people still want religions today. They refuse to receive God's mercy, which is His laws, man, which is His word, right? 53, 54. Give me what you got out.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
This verse is very interesting. Those are pretty much 3 curses in one verse. Read that again.
So that the man that is tender among you,
So the man that is tender among you,
and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
his eye shall be evil towards his brother. What is that talking about? That's talking about we will hate each other. That's talking about black on black violence, black on brown violence, brown on brown violence, brown on black violence. That's violence within ourselves, man. Right? That's gangbanging right there. See?
And toward the wife.
Hold on. And it says the man that's tender among you. And that's another mechanism of the goddamn devil, man. They remove the father out of the children's lives, right? That's why we're always in prison or whatever, right? You know, the Bible talks about that too, right? So these children are raised by women. They grow up working on emotions just like women. Right? They don't know how to hold back their emotions. That's why with every little thing they want to go pick up a gun and shoot their brother, right? That's right. That tender, man, right?
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And toward the wife of his bosom. That's talking about domestic violence right here, right? Man beating up on their wife.
And toward the remnant of his children.
In fatherless homes. Right there, man. You have to show me where is that happening in the Jewish world, man? Nowhere. Right? This is talking about the black Hispanic.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Now give me what you got. Our people don't understand that we are the Israelites, and this is the reason why. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger.
Because we had kindled a fire in the Lord's anger. Read.
Which shall burn forever.
And that's why, man. Right? Because we are lost our inheritance. We are lost our pretty much our knowing that we are the Israelites. You know what I mean? Now give me verse. Give me Ecclesiastes 12:13. So how do we fix our situation? How do we reverse this? We got to keep God's laws, man.
It's actually getting late.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do it hard, but I appreciate everything that's going on here. I'm gonna have to come back. And
No sweat.
You watch the videos already?
yeah, I be watching all of these videos.
Okay, that's good. It's powerful. So you are pretty much hip to the
Where what's
information.
going on?
Okay.
Do you know Nikki?
That's good.
All right, man. So it's very powerful. So
You for sure come back next week.
All right.
Every week. After 3:34.
you see how the world is how everything's happening in the world. We understand that something's brewing, man. Right? This white man got plans for us, man. Give me Matthew 24. Yeah. So we live in a very interesting time, man. Our people, they're not knowing, man. All they want to do is watch the world star. They want to follow its folly and all that, man. But they're not paying attention to what's happening in the world. Biden just ordered some airstrikes, right, on Iran's proxy soldiers in Syria. There's some interesting stuff, right? Though Biden sat down with Putin and they reached an agreement, that's all bullshit, man. That's hogwash, man. Right? The Lord, He don't care about that. He's putting the spirit on these devils good to eat each other up, right? So give me Matthew 24:3.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 23.
No, 3.
Chapter 24, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives,
As the Lord, Yahweh, our Lord, King, He sat upon the mountain of olives, right? Read.
the disciples came unto him privately.
Privately, they just came in a private conversation within themselves. That's just meaning Him, Christ, and His followers, right? Read.
Saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
He's asking them, when is these things shall be, right? Read.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
He said, what shall be the signs of their coming and the ends of the world? Right? Give me second Ezra.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass.
This is Ezra's, man, a powerful prophet. Right? Read that from the top again.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
The angel's telling Ezra, measure that time diligently. Read.
And when thou seest part of the signs pass.
So he's saying, when you see parts of these the signs pass, when you see parts of these prophecies come to pass, read.
Which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So he's saying, once you see these prophecies come to pass, then you will understand that that's when, in that time, that's when he's going to start visiting the world that he made. ¿Qué pasó? What's funny? Hey, ¿qué es el chiste? ¿Ah? ¿Ah? Payaso. Read.
Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
So he said, once you see earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. But scorners like that, he's not paying attention to that, man. Right? He's not paying attention to what's happening in the world, man. Right? He wants to be out here on folly and be possibly drunk as hell right now.
24 hours.
24 hours, huh? You don't care what's happening, huh?
Yeah. I don't care. You know what?
What?
I don't care.
Yeah, that's why. And guess what? When you say, when destruction comes to you, y después allí vas a rezarle a Dios, Dios se va a reír de ti, man. Huh?
Well, you know what's coming.
Then shalt thou well understand.
Everything is coming. Everything.
The what?
earthquake. No, 49ers.
Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
So when you start seeing these signs happening, then, but see, the whole thing is, man, you got to have this wisdom, man. You have to have the Lord's Spirit, right? And you have to do that, you have to keep God's laws, right? And then you will start understanding the prophecies and the dark sayings of this book, man, right? You can't understand the prophecies. You can't understand none of that, or the dark sayings, unless God's puts his Spirit upon you, man, right? Read that again.
Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand
Then you shall understand, read,
that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
then you'll understand, right, that you will understand that these are prophecies, man, that he's done given all the prophets. Then you'll understand that all these things were spoken of a long time ago from the beginning, read.
For like as all that is made in the world,
Look at this. This is goddamn shit I'm talking about. Right. Right? This is why America got to be destroyed, man.
right, that's right. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end.
Just like everything. That's a beginning and an end, man. So this world, I'm not talking about the earth, this epoch, this era, this time, got to come to an end. Read.
And the end is manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs.
That's 6? 6. Matthew 24, 6. You see how yeah, start at 4. Start at 4.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them.
So, rewind. He was at Mount Olives, and his disciples asked him about the end times. Read that again.
Verse 4.
Yep.
And Yahushua answered.
So Christ, Yahushua, our Lord, our King, he answered them. Read.
And said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
And that applies today, man. Take heed that no man deceive you. Take heed that no Christian pastor deceives you. Take heed that no imam deceives you. No, take heed that no man on this earth deceive you. Read.
For many shall come in my name.
Supposedly many are coming in Christ's name. Read.
Saying, I am Christ.
And some of them will even say that they are Christ. Right? How many times some bug outs or even people that claim to be a Messiah come out here, man? Read.
Right.
And shall deceive many.
And many people will be deceived, unfortunately. Read.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
And then he goes into details. He's saying you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Read.
See that ye be not troubled.
See, the thing about it, there's a difference between conflicts and wars, right? This earth hasn't seen a war in a minute, man, right? We've done seen conflicts and everything. What we see right now are conflicts, just these little wars, right? This place, this earth, they're going to see wars, and when that happens, man, America will be destroyed. Read.
Right.
For all these things must come to pass.
Yahushua said that all these things must come to pass. Read.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Then go to 7.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
Say, nation shall rise against nation. Right? This world that we live in, man, these so-called countries are called states, right? We haven't been, on earth there's no kingdoms. I mean, you can call the UK a kingdom because you got a queen, but she's just pretty much a head, a state head. She doesn't even rule the world, England, man, right? So this is talking about people, nations of people. This is talking about race wars. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Kingdom against kingdom. Fast forward to the end days, it's talking about countries, nations. Read.
And there shall be famines and pestilences
And there shall be famines and pestilences. Read.
and earthquakes in diverse places.
Verse 8.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
He's saying, but all these are just the beginning of sorrows.
Right.
Read.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
And then there's going to be times that the men of the Lord, some of us are going to meet an end, man. Right? Some of us are going to probably have to taste death over this word. Right? Some of us might be delivered to the devil. Read.
And shall kill you.
So some of us might die for this word. But blessed is he that dies for the word of the Lord, man.
Right.
That's it.
And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
And for Yahweh's Shai's name's sake, we shall be hated, man. Right? I mean, Yahweh Shai, man, his real name and his real truth that he speaks, man. Right? That's why the Christian church hates this, man. Right? That's it.
That was 9. That was it.
That was 8.
That was 9. That was it.
Man, I need the whole 8. Job 20.
I read 8.
Yeah, I just need to do 8.
I'll stop at 8.
No sweat. Now give me Job 21. Job 21. 17. Psalms 32. Read.
Job chapter 21, verse 17. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out?
How oft is the candle of the wicked put out? Read.
And how oft cometh their destruction upon them? God distributeth sorrows in his anger.
So we got to understand that the sorrows that our people are pretty much going through, it's coming from the Most High. Read.
They are
As
as
a punishment as that. Read.
they are as stubble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carrieth away. God layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewrote.
Psalms 32. What's going on, brothers? Y'all got a question?
Just 1 second.
All right, no sweat.
The book of Psalms, chapter 32, verse 10. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked.
So all these things, right? Many sorrows are for the wicked. So all these things are reserved for the wicked, right? For the rebellious, for the ones that refuse to take heed to God's word. Read.
But he that trusteth in the Lord,
But him that trusted in Yahweh, read.
mercy shall compass him about.
He said, mercy shall encompass you, man. Right? So why would you reject God's word, man? Right? If it entails mercy upon you. Our people are so backwards, man. Right? That's it. Second Ezra 16. 18 to 22.
This is Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning.
So he's saying the beginning of sorrows. When Yahweh Shai said, these are the beginning of sorrows. Read that again.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars. And the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
See, this is the thing, man. The Christian church are so quick to throw out the Apocrypha, right? To discredit the Apocrypha. When Yahweh Shai was pulling out the Apocrypha, right? Read.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their
It
wickedness,
said, but regardless when the wicked and the rebellious see this, they will still not turn from the wickedness. Read.
nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good cause.
So victuals, they're saying pretty much delicacies, read.
And eat,
And while having that, they will think that they're in good, man. Right? They think they're all right with just having these certain things, read.
and even then shall evils grow upon earth.
But even then, evil shall come upon this earth, read.
Sword, famine,
Sword, famine, read.
and great confusion.
And even great confusion, read.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine.
He said many people on earth are gonna die of famine. That's a bad way to go. That's a nasty way to go. Read.
Right. And the other
But in the other, read.
that escape the hunger
The ones that escape the hunger, read.
shall the sword destroy.
Regardless if you escape the famine, the sword is gonna find you, man.
Right.
Right? So death is gonna find you, man. Unless you come back to God's word. That's it. Now shoot down to 38, 39.
Verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month
As a woman with child, as a pregnant woman in the 9th month, read.
bringeth forth her son within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
So just as surely as a woman in her 9th month knows that this pain is going to come, that's how for sure destruction and anger and hunger and all those things and all those perils that this Bible speaks about is going to come to the earth. Read.
Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth.
So even just like that's what it's talking about. Just like when a woman knows that all those pangs of pain is coming, so for surely destruction and all the perils are coming to the earth. Read.
And the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. All my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the.
So what are we to do but to trust in the Most High, man? Right? Because we believe in what the Scriptures say, right? And we understand that the Scriptures also talks about a remnant being saved, man. Right? So we are to trust in the Most High and hope that we are found worthy in that day, man. Right? We need Psalms 91.
This is Psalms chapter 91, verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
You should not be afraid of the terror at night, nor an arrow that flies at day, nor of a bullet,
Nor for the pestilence
nor for the pestilence, right?
that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
We're not afraid of that, man. Right? The men that you see up here, we're not afraid of none of that. Right? Because we believe in the scriptures, man. We understand what the scriptures say. Right? He's saying if you keep God's laws, he will pretty much encamp you with his mercy.
Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall by thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh. But it shall not come nigh thee.
So none of these things shall come upon you, right? If you keep God's laws, right? That's it. But you keep up with that.
Yeah, I'm on 20, happy 24.
Cool. You go back Matthew 13 to 17.
This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 17.
Read.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see.
Yahushua says that many prophets, read that again, even the ancient prophets, read.
For verily I say unto you,
Truly I say unto you, read.
that many prophets and righteous men
Because many prophets in the ancient days and righteous men, read.
have desired to see those things which ye see.
He goes, many of the righteous men and the prophets desired to see what we see today, man. What and the audience right there is talking about the disciples right there. But fast forward to today, man, the ancients desired to see all this, man.
And have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
I need you to read 9 and 10, right?
This is Luke chapter 10, verse 24. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see.
So many, like, again, many prophets and the kings of the ancients desired to see all these things happen, man. Desired to see all these prophecies come to pass in these last days. Read. Good.
And have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
Verse 9 again, you give me back to 10.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 9.
So Yahushua speaks again, read.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted,
So some of us might die over this, read.
and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 21.
22.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death,
Say, even brothers will be giving up brothers up to death, read.
and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents,
That's how gruesome time is going to be, man. Read.
and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end
But him that endureth all these things all the way to the end, read.
shall be saved.
Read that again.
And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
Him that endureth to the end shall be saved. That's where the difference is. That's why. Yeah, give me Sirach 41 and 3.
The book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 3. Fear not the sentence of death.
Fear, but us men out here, and we telling you, man, if you fear Yahweh and keep His laws, read that again.
Fear not the sentence of death.
We don't fear the sentence of death.
Right.
Right? Read.
Remember them.
That's it. That's it with the game. What's going on over there?
He wants literature, and he wants to say what he is.
What are you, man?
What am I?
Yeah, your
Jesus.
ethnic,
Jesus.
your ethnic background, man.
Oh, my ethnic? I'm confused about that.
What's your father?
I don't have a father.
Who was your father? What was he?
What's your last name?
Children of my father.
What's your last name, man?
I don't. My name Joseph.
What's your last name?
I don't. O'Brien.
O'Brien? You're Irish, man. O'Brien? O'Brien. You said O'Brien?
Yeah.
You're Irishman, right?
Yes.
Your father was Irish.
No, that's my grandmother's name.
What was your father's last name?
I don't have a father. My father's in heaven.
You do have a father.
Come on, man. You wouldn't be here if you ain't had no daddy, dude.
That's right.
Yeah, he's an Edomite. That's an Edomite. He's the devil.
Of course he is. He's dodging the question. He's being a damn devil. Right? That's good. Good talk.
The book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 3.
Read out.
Fear not the sentence of death.
Uh-huh.
Remember them that have been before you.
That's what we got to understand, man. And when that time comes, when you're faced with death, remember those that came before you. Read.
And that come after.
And the ones that come after, man. That's it. Read.
For this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh.
Right.
This is the sentence of the Lord of all flesh. Regardless, you're going to meet death one way or another, man. Right? And if you happen to meet death by murder over this word, yo, praise be the Lord, man.
That's right.
Isaiah 15:20, 2 Timothy 3.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Woe unto them that call evil good,
Woe unto them that call evil good, read.
and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
Right.
And that's how the world is today, man. Right? Everything that's evil and abominable, they raise up as good. So that's why we want this place to go, man. Right? They speak ill of us because we want this, man. Right? We want righteousness to reign supreme on the earth. So they twist up our words, they vilify us as damn criminals and terrorists, right? But in the end days, later on when the heat gets raised up a little bit more, man, that's how they're going to deliver us up to the devil, man.
Right.
These people got to go, they're going to say. This is what they're saying about the establishment. We need to get these cats out the way, man. Right? That's how they're going to move. Right? That's it. 2 Timothy 3:1.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
He said, this you shall know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Dangerous times shall come. Read.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Because people are lovers of their own selves. Give them a flyer, Ak. Ak. Flyer. 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 Yo. Perilous times shall come, read, and men shall be lovers of themselves. Read.
Covetous.
They're covetous. Read.
Boasters.
Boasters. They boast in their evilness. They boast in their wickedness, man. Read.
Proud.
Don't our people do that today? Right? Man, I knocked this dude's beat, you know what I mean? This other day. They boast themselves in their wickedness, man. Read.
Blasphemers.
They're blasphemers too. Read.
Disobedient to parents.
Uh-huh.
Unthankful.
Uh-huh.
Unholy.
Unholy.
Verse 3. Without natural affection.
Read.
Truce breakers. False accusers. Incontinent. Fierce. Despisers of those that are good.
And the despisers of those that are good, man. Right? That's why they vilify us. Right? Because we want righteousness of the righteousness of the Lord to reign supreme. We want this earth, man. Right? That's it.
That was verse 3.
All the way to 5.
All the way to 5.
Verse 4. Traitors. Petty. High-minded. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
That's how this world is today, man. Right? Read.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
And it's saying from that type of people you turn away, man. Right?